'tis the season. It's springtime, isn't it? We're recording this on the spring forward day, and I've got just a question. Why in the hell do we do daylight savings?
I have no idea.
Why do we do daylight savings? Does the whole world do it or just the United States? I don't even know. Does the world do it? Hey, world.
I don't think so.
We have listeners all over the world. Someone tell me daylight savings. It's the dumbest thing. I understand maybe why we did it back.
Well, Indiana was one of three states, Arizona, Hawaii, and Indiana,
Correct.
that never used to change.
Correct.
And we're in Indiana, and we were proud of that.
This
and
is
now
so dumb.
we got sucked into changing.
Because we're like, we're going to be hip. We're going to change our clocks. Why are we changing the clocks? Because everybody else is. That's a great mentality.
And the excuse always was, well, New York and Chicago's central and New York's east, and we're right in the middle, and we have to. Well, you're still not going to be on the same time as those. So,
what are we saving actually? This is a physics question. We're not really saving anything. All we're doing is like changing what time it is during the day. We're not saving any daylight.
No.
Right?
Energy.
It's the same amount of daylight no matter what you do. It's just when you start, when you stop.
Right.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb.
And then you have these articles. that come out on Sunday morning. This whole spring forward takes people's sleep away, and it affects them for 72 hours afterwards.
Heart attack.
Are you kidding
spike.
me? Are you kidding me? People sit in front of their frickin' TV for 4 hours a night. Do you think they're going to miss an hour somewhere? Of course not.
Oh, my gosh. So, hey, if you're not part of our Insider program, go to the website, advancedlearningpodcast.com. Go to the Insider, become a member. We'd love to have you there. We're there the first Friday of every month. We're live in that deal. It's a live coaching session with me and Bill. And for what you pay, for what you get, there's nothing like it. And we talk about things other than daylight savings time. We're there. So
we leave that for our free audience.
Exactly.
Okay. You've been on Clubhouse a few times.
A few times.
And I have too.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. There are some really good rooms. They're called rooms where the topic is a specific topic. And they always promote the topic. And I took a screenshot of several of these topics. So I want to ask you about them because they are a little confusing to me.
These are Clubhouse topics, room topics.
These are Clubhouse room topics.
And I'm supposed to figure out what's in them. Okay.
That's right. Here's number one.
Ready.
Double D's with unskilled worker discussing NFTs.
Okay. I'm assuming that person it's their name. Donald Davidson. Is that double D's? Donald Davidson?
Well, you're right. No? Double D's refers to the host
person.
names.
Yeah, thank you. I figured that, hopefully.
Yeah, unskilled work with double D's with unskilled workers discussing NFTs.
So unskilled workers would be people that, for whatever, don't have some sort of accreditation, degree, apprenticeship, or whatever. Maybe some independent artists, but a lot of those people are trained, but maybe some aren't. I don't know.
Could be.
And they're discussing NFTs. Yeah,
so tell me about NFTs. Tell me everything you know about NFTs in less than 5 seconds.
A non-fungible token. What I love more than anything is the word fungible. What does fungible mean? It means it can or can't be transferred.
We looked it up. It just basically means it can be transferred, and this asset is fungible with that one means they're totally they're replaceable. They're substitutable.
COVID is fungible.
COVID is fungible. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was good.
Don't
Double
bring
D's.
up COVID.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, that's not it. That's not all.
Okay, keep going.
Here we go.
More rooms.
Guess
the room. Bill and Bryan.
Here's one.
Yeah.
What's the scoop? The cat litter conundrum. I don't know why I get notified on these things. I thought when I went into Clubhouse, I said what topics like podcasting and digital courses. But what's the scoop? The cat litter conundrum.
What's the conundrum there? Well, I don't have a cat. I'm not a cat person. But what is the conundrum? We've been using cat litter boxes since the 40s, I think, right? So what's the conundrum?
We invite you to listen and lend your experiences on the SHTTY experience of all things litter box. So I thought it was a reference to something. No, it's actually about
Is this really a room?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It was a bunch of people in it.
All right,
yeah. Keep going. Yep. It's a fun game.
I better not do that. Here's one.
Yeah.
Sex in space! Exclamation point! 90 minutes. Sex in space.
90 minutes.
Well, 90. I don't know what that means. I think that refers to how long the room is.
I was going to have a bad joke there, but that's not really part of our show, is it? That's not part of our brand.
So one thing, no, it's not. One thing is, why am I getting these? And the other is, what the hell is it? And I'm sure they're doing it to kind of tease. I was like, "Oh, people will see that." And so, and I'm looking at it.
I mean, I can't get my thoughts off of that litter box deal.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Said no one ever. Ay, ay, ay.
Should you purchase a vehicle in your business name? The Hustler Club. We're going to talk about that
No,
for
I like
2 hours. Yeah, but how do you
2
talk about
hours.
that topic for 2 hours?
That's actually a good one. I see. I would go because I'm in that mode right now.
Yeah.
Because if you buy a truck that weighs over 6,000 pounds and you get a Section 179 expense, you can deduct the whole thing the first year.
Okay.
So you're looking to save taxes.
Okay.
See, that might be what they're talking about in there. That might be worth it. Now, the
might
litter
be.
box deal, you're not going to see me for 2 hours in the litter box deal or for 2 seconds.
On some of these rooms, I would like to get it down to 10 minutes, though. So should I buy a car using the company name? That is probably a much shorter conversation. It's like when I watch Dateline or 2020, it's a 2-hour episode that easily could fit in 30 minutes.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. It's always that. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so topic.
Let's go to, you said in the prep, why don't we share the number 1 or number 2 most asked questions we get from our clients with our listeners and answer them? Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're going to do. I think we both have 2 written down. It was really hard to come up with one. And I really did this in a like a here and now version.
Yes,
so what am I being asked over and over right now? And I had 2 things. They're actually mine are related. So it's kind of like 1.5, I think. But we're going to share those questions with you and our answers. Now, the good thing is I have the question I get asked a lot. You get my answer, but you also get Bill's answer and vice versa. This would be good.
You know, as I thought about this, I prefaced it by saying we can talk about anything. It could be talk about how coaching works or how training should work or what's the future of training, or it could be content questions like specific issues in the sales cycle. And my 2 were specific issues in the sales cycle.
Okay.
I don't know if yours were.
No, a little more behavioral.
Okay.
Fire away.
You go first.
Oh, me go first. Okay, here we go. I get asked this all the time. I'm a relationship-oriented salesperson, and I can't go see people. I can't go to networking events. I can't do as much connecting these days. Mm-hmm. How do I develop relationships remotely? How do I develop? And this is different than remote selling. So the question I get here has more around networking, connecting, and finding new people to interact with than it does actually like, okay, how to do the demo remotely and that other stuff.
Right.
How do I develop relationships remotely is a question I get asked a lot.
Okay.
You want me to go, or do you want to take a stab?
Yeah, well, let me take a stab at it.
Okay.
Since you had the question, I'll start with the answer, or an answer, not the answer. Yeah, that's so the question then is, you cannot. This is assuming you cannot go see people. Is that the premise? That there's
correct.
not as
Yes.
much face-to-face.
Yeah, so people that would normally go to like networking events or connector meetings, or they would go visit customers and things like that. They can't do any of that anymore, or way less than they could before. How do they do that now? Mm-hmm. And for some people, for the extroverts, it's really
painful.
Psychologically bothering them.
Yeah.
They feel very isolated. They need human interaction. They're not getting it.
Well, I mean, we talked about it last episode. I think video is an answer to that. Can you be in front of these people, and can they be in front of you visually, digitally, without being there physically? Whether that's a Zoom call or StreamYard or just a Skype, just a FaceTime call. Can we substitute that? It's not an entire substitution, but at least it's something where you can see eyes and see facial expressions.
Yes.
I think also audio is a really good substitute for that too. And instead of just texting somebody, why don't you do a recorded message on your phone and text them the recorded message, and you can even get creative with that. Put some music behind it. And I probably wouldn't do that for every voicemail I left.
Yeah.
But I think there's some creative things you can do that is not the same, but it's pretty damn close.
That's really good. I love the audio idea. We were just talking about that the other day, because everyone's like video. I'm like, well, audio is still pretty good, right?
Exactly.
Even a voice, like you said, a voice memo, a text, or an email. Instead of like typing an email, just record it on your iPhone and send the voice memo over. Because then you get voice inflection, you get a little personality in there. The tone will come through. I'm going to start doing that more. That's a really good idea. Yeah. I love that. And I've been telling people, I've been using this little cheeky phrase. I'm calling it hub selling. So hub means that you be the wheel of the hub of a wheel. You be the hub of a wheel, And when it comes to trying to create events, instead of you waiting for the light to go green where you can go out, then you need to be the creator of these events yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the easy ones to do are to get family and friends together, or maybe coworkers. Everyone's sort of done with the whole virtual happy hour deal, right? We've had enough of those.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. There are other things you can do, though. You can invite speakers to come in. You could do host an event where it's just a free-for-all, kind of like everyone poses a question in the chat room, like we're doing here, and then everyone goes around and answers the question. Just think creatively about bringing people together, and that'll give the best fix that you can get. But you're the hub. The trick is everyone's waiting for other people to do this, and you can't wait. You got to be the hub. You be the invitor, not the invitee. That's what I say to that.
I was just thinking that's a great idea, because you could actually, let's say you sell
Dental equipment.
Yep. And two dentists.
Sure.
And you could find a dentist who is not in your territory, maybe in LA or New York, who is a leader in some kind of technology or really good at something. Dentists from here might show up on a panel discussion digitally to hear somebody who's outside the territory, because everybody's an expert if they're more than 60 miles away from you. But think outside the box. Instead of you can host it, but you don't have to be be the premier content person.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're the guest. You're the host.
Yep.
Just what you said. Master of ceremonies.
Yeah.
Just the question, and the questions come from the audience, so you don't have to think of the questions either. And then the person who's your expert answers them. You're just the middle of it, but you're the hub. You're the hub of that wheel. And
almost every expert, unless they're paid a lot of money to be an expert, if they're an expert dentist, they would love to do it.
They would love to do it.
They get a lot of value.
They get very flattered. Yep.
Okay, here's my first one here is how do we best command a premium? We are a premium provider of services or products, and sometimes we get dropped down into commodity pricing, and we're just the same as everybody else, and people don't see our uniqueness, so they say, well, you're just the same as the other company, and we're not going to pay you 2% more. So it's that whole, how do we command a premium by characterizing and communicating our unique value to the world?
I have to answer that now?
You have to answer that.
Okay.
We can cut out some dead air here if you want.
I just typed down the question.
Okay, so Bryan and I are back.
Mark.
We just took lunch, and he had a chance to think
it's
about
Friday
his
now. Bryan's had 4 days to think about this. So this question I always think about starts with you as an individual. And so you have to first check in with how believable you are relative to the premium that you charge. So in other words, do you believe that whatever you're selling is worth what you're selling it for? You have to start there. And just because it's the price that your leader or your company has chosen doesn't mean that you believe it's worth it. And everyone's got to do that. And if you start to find yourself getting chipped away out by competitive stuff and thinking, man, this is so hard because we're at $5,000 and they're at $3,500 and this is hard, that tells me you've got a belief problem that you don't think you're worth it.
Yeah.
I like to coach people, and this is hard to get to say, if you're at $5,000, say you sell dental equipment and your dental chair is $5,000, your competitor is $3,500. Your attitude is my client, my company won't let me sell this for more than $5,000. I think it's worth $8,000, but they make me sell it for $5,000 just to stay competitive because it's worth $8,000 easy. If you have that kind of attitude, that will come through in your language and your behavior. If you don't, the opposite will happen. Oh yeah, I know it's tough, and you try to sell the gap. You try to feature function the difference and and defend it and all that jazz, and versus just owning the fact internally, there's no doubt in your mind that you're worth every penny. The product is. And then the second answer I have there is you have to see value in your role in the process also, and that they pay a premium to get you. And if you don't think they pay a premium to get you, then you're dead on arrival. That you don't need you anymore. So you got to think, what do they get from me? Expertise, knowledge, sharing, pushback, challenge. They get those things from you. That's worth something too.
I think that second one is huge. I was going to say that it's hard to sell a premium product without a premium process. And the premium process is not just you flinging quotes out when somebody calls. A premium process is where you walk them through, you guide them, you ask questions, you understand the context, blah, blah, blah. That's premium process stuff. So every company I know who has a premium solution does something premium in the process to get to the solution.
Yep.
But I think that whole idea of what's the value of the sales professional is, and we've talked about this probably ad nauseum on this podcast, but in the context of premium, are you a premium product?
There we go. Premium persona.
Are
Can I say that?
you premium? I mean, do people really,
Yes.
when you walk into their office,
Yes.
do they say, who the hell is that? Or do they say, oh, there's Bryan Neal. He hosts Advanced Selling Podcast. And no, I'm serious. I mean, that happens to us. You know, we get calls from people who want us to come in and do work with them, and it's because of this. And so I think you've got to embrace your premium brand, your personal premium brand. And when you do, I think it becomes a lot easier for people to say, you know what, these kind of look alike, but Bryan Neal's my guy because he's done this, and I know he's not going to let us down. I believe in him, and that's a whole lot more than just the belief in the product.
I like that. We should write a book. Premium process, premium persona.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. Yeah, equals
premium.
Yeah, premium out results.
Yeah.
Premium results.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with premium gasoline from 1978. Go ahead and fill her up with premium. Remember that? Is it still called premium? Is gas still called premium? The 93? It's like required.
Yeah.
Does your car requires the
My
premium?
car says it requires.
Do you put it
but
in
I
there?
don't put it
See,
in.
I do. My
do?
kid just asked me that. I'm teaching William to drive right now, and he asked me. He said, would your car not work if you put the lower level gas in? I said,
I'm not going to try.
But I did say, this is where I get my knowledge. NASCAR drivers, they all say it doesn't matter. Actually,
Oh, really?
NASCAR drivers say it don't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
That's true.
And they drive some really fancy cars.
All right,
We
your
digress.
second
Go
question.
ahead. Yes, my second question is very tactically. What should I be posting or saying on LinkedIn?
Okay.
I get asked that all the time. What should I be saying or posting on LinkedIn? You have until Tuesday. Since I took till Friday.
Okay.
You're good.
What should I be posting on LinkedIn?
Or saying. Yep.
Or saying. Okay.
Yep.
That's a great question, and one that I'm always interested in and kind of wrestling with.
Mm-hmm.
What should I be
Does
posting?
it talk like a pirate day?
Arr.
Was that a
What should I be wrestling? I'm wrestling a pirate. That's what I was doing. What should I be posting? Well, here's the new trend. I think is not teaching something. It's not posting things that are where you're teaching somebody, because people don't need to be taught one more thing. It's more, how are you helping them shift their thinking? You're thinking about, like if you're a digital marketing company and most of your customers or your audience thinks about digital marketing in some way that you think is wrong, and you have a shift in consciousness from how they should be what they are thinking to how they should be, that's the kind of post to be putting up there, because then it causes people to say, well, geez, am I thinking about this in the right way? Versus, oh my God, I got to write that down. There were 7 tactics there and 3 hacks and 4 language. That people just don't do that. So I think making people think differently is probably a good way to begin.
I like. Do I answer my own question now?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like Bill was talking. It's a very broad answer. Like but here's the easiest thing to do is to speak authentically. Is if you say, what should I be doing or posting or saying on LinkedIn, you should do or say things that you would do or say in real life, like normal. Don't try to be anything different. Don't try to write something clever. Don't try to write a viral post. Let all that crap go. And you just talk like you. You ask a question like yourself. You post an interesting thing that you found, or a book that you're reading. And if you're like really serious as a human, be really serious. If you're funny and loose, be funny and loose. But you just got to be your authentic self. Otherwise, you'll get found out real fast.
Yeah.
You get found out really fast. If you watch what Bill and I post on LinkedIn and then come hang in the studio, it's going to be kind of disappointing, because there's not a lot of difference. You're going to see exactly what you see here and there for sure.
Yeah, I think you're right there, and I think that if you're shooting video, when the camera goes on, it's hard not to appear as something different than you.
Totally.
It takes work to just be yourself, and it's almost like you need a little down, or need a little Xanax or Zantac or whatever. A little smoke of the, to just chill, because people don't want to be spoken to like they are in a broadcast studio.
No, at all.
And I will tell you, I'm guilty of that sometimes, of when the camera goes on, I kind of launch into a little bit different version of Bill Caskey, and it's all with the intent of helping. But I think I could get a lot better at doing things like we do here, where I don't feel like we're on here. I just feel like we're chatting.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, I mean, it's very, very, what you see is what you get,
Yeah.
I think.
But
Yeah.
when the camera goes on, I think there's a tendency to go one of two ways: either get petrified or try to over-determine your behavior
Yes.
and get a little more excited than you really are.
Which is why I love the idea of documenting instead of like performing. Because even now we got a camera on. I just forgot about it till you mentioned it. Like, oh, there's a camera on over there. But you're right. Yeah, I see it. Hi.
Travis is being very.
Travis is
he's,
very-
right, he's all
very
over
into
this thing.
I did have a listener comment. They watched one of our videos.
Okay.
And they were kind of jabbing me. Did I tell you this?
Huh.
Kind of jabbing me because I take all my notes on my phone.
Uh-huh.
Right. So and you're talking. I'm like, right now. He said, I got to give you some feedback. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I watched the video and you were typing stuff on your phone. Like the whole episode, you seem very disinterested. And I'm like, well, that's where I like to read the pre-show. I take the notes and stuff. And that's kind of where,
I've always thought that about you.
Yeah.
That you're always on your
Exactly.
phone.
He's always on your phone,
I don't
disinterested.
know. I don't want to say, hey, let me see what you just
Yeah,
wrote there.
you
That
can
would
if
be
you
kind of
want.
rude. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right. No, I always
Sounds
feel
kinda
like
funny.
that's where you do your work.
That's where I keep
on
all
your
my
phone.
notes.
I have a number 2 pencil.
You do have a number
And
2
a-
pencil.
and a card of my to-dos.
So I
today.
wonder if that was, if someone saw you writing on your thing with your
They would
pencil,
say
that would
the
be the
same
same
thing.
thing. Yeah, I
It would be
noticed
the
that
same
you have that tool, that technology tool you got there. That's it, number 2.
Is that a yeah?
Where are all the number 3 pencils, number 1 pencils, number 4 pencils?
Oh, you don't want a number 1 pencil.
Seriously?
No.
Why?
They're too hard. I think they're
Oh, is that
hard.
what
Aren't
it
they
is?
the hard black?
What's a number
HB?
3?
Number 3 is like coal. It kind of comes apart. when you're right. All right, so go to
that's
advancedsellingpodcast.com, join our LinkedIn group, .com/LinkedIn, and also check out the Insider, advancedsellingpodcast.com/insider. Got a lot of good stuff coming up in the Insider program, so
Gotta be there.
we'd love to have you there.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.